Alex from Eyeball Airsoft here.
So this is H&K G28. It has the H&K trademarks, which I mean H&K gives out a lot of trademarks, but I mean I guess it's pretty cool. It actually has a unique serial number. This is 43 out of 250 guns. This is the one where it's the one that doesn't come with the scope rings and the rail covers and the other stuff and all that. To the battery compartment is in the back of the stack. Open up that off. There's a LiPo. You can fit a pretty big LiPo in here. Just yeah, it's actually bigger than normal bumper too. So the stock has a lot of adjustments. You can adjust the butt pad, how far out that goes out. You can adjust the height of the cheek rest, and wherever you move the stock on the back, and like if you move it back right here, the cheek rest stays in the same place with the spring loaded. Right, why? It's because it's spring loaded. I have an NC Star Octagon style scope. It's a variable zoom 1.1 through 4, and you can it lights up blue and red. I mean, it doesn't really light up that much, but you're not supposed to be using it for day anyways. The gun actually comes with iron sights, 2 flip up, one that's actually in the rail, one that's not. But I wouldn't really recommend them because this is a DMR style weapon, and if you want to stay true to the DMR style, I'd say just get a scope. I have a Harrison style bipod right here. I believe it's made by Echo One. It's spring loaded and you can make adjustments to it, but I mean it's not the best bipod, but it definitely does the job. I'm gonna go ahead and put the stock back on. We'll just do that for now. It only goes to semi-auto. It does not have a fully automatic fire selector switch. So now flipping the gun around. The charging handle and the bolt catch and the bolt goes all the way back, and the hop-up is a rotary style hop-up. I've done some internal upgrades to this gun, so when we open it up we'll see some of the internal upgrades. We will actually be using this gun I believe a couple days from now, and fight at the sand dunes near our house. And then the bolt release is on the back, as you saw. It is right above here, right about here. And then you press it, and it's fully functional. It actually sounds really good too. This gun takes a VFC 417 magazine. There's mid caps and high caps. The mid caps have terrible feeding. Simply for the sand dunes. So if sand gets in the mid caps, they have terrible feeding. So I went ahead and brought a high cap this time. And you know, it's not really true to the DMR setup, but I mean, I'd rather be able to shoot than look good. Alright, so a little bit of a trade-off there. I think it's worth it. So now we're gonna go ahead and open the gun up and take the stock off since we don't need it. For this gun, you only need to take off one pin. Go ahead and use this. It does have a stopper, so you don't need to take the pin all the way out, so no worries about losing it. It has a full metal gearbox as expected. Yeah. I didn't do any internal upgrades to the gearbox, but however to the barrel I have done quite a few. I'm not going to completely take the barrel apart because I'd just make this video really long and I'd have to put it back together, and I don't really want to do that. But I will show you the flat hop and everything, so we can just go ahead and pop this out. There we go. This little piece unlocks the flat hop, and the flat hop should go with it. Here, I'll fish it out like this. Alright, this is a modified concave style flat hop. It's got a little concave. It's concave right here to almost act like an R hop, but it is still a flat hop. And The reason why I did a flat hop instead of an R hop is because it gets you can get you can get mostly the same results. Just the R hop is going to be a little bit harder to put in and tune. But R hops can definitely be better than flat hops if you tune them correctly and you put them in correctly. But unfortunately, I don't really have the time for that, and I'm not super good or confident about putting in R hops, so I went ahead and put it in a flat hop.
I just have to find a home for grilling things.
There is a maple leaf bucking, 70-degree bucking in here. And I believe it's turquoise. And if you maple leaf buckings actually have these little lips on the sides of them that actually hold them in better, and that works especially if you're gonna flat hop, because then it like helps it stabilize if you accidentally Dremel too much or so. So if you look inside here, this is the bolt release works. I'm going to go ahead and take this out because it's easier to put the barrel in if you take that out. Oh, and this actually works as a barrel stabilizer. It actually keeps the barrel still, so you won't need to like put tape on your barrel to stabilize it. That is an upgrade I might be looking to in the future though, because I do want it to, because the tape actually helps take the vibrations out of the barrel, so follow-up shots are also more accurate. But that's a very small upgrade. That's like a 1% increase. And this DMR, let's just say I'm at like 80%, and I do 1% increases, I'm at a 90% DMR, and I'm just using those as numbers. It's not like a specific way of doing it, but doing that amount of 1% increases would take a long time. So I'm going to wait for a while until I'm unhappy with this performance to actually do that. So here, this is how the full bolt release works. It's not very interesting, but so that's how you reinstall a barrel. First you have to put this thing in, which is really difficult. And then I gotta put in the flat hop back in. So that's about it for the G28. It has a really long rail system, has a flip up sights and everything. I got through the externals and the internals. Just one more thing. To get access to the motor, it's a little bit different. First thing you do is you undo that, pull it out. And then you take an Allen key and you unscrew that. I'm not going to do that now. And then you obviously use that to tighten and loosen the motor, make it sound better or worse, depending on how it sounds. So yeah. It does weigh about 11 pounds. Wait, no it doesn't. It weighs like 10. But, you know, it's on the heavier side. It's really front heavy just because of the thick rail system and plastic stock. It has full metal upper and lower receiver. This slides full metal. This is actually feels like polymer, but it might be metal. Yes, polymer. Harrison bipods metal. That's rubber on the outside, glass and metal on the inside. The scope rings are metal. Buffer tube is metal. That is metal. The mount is metal. It actually only has one sling mount on each side though, so you would have to use a single point sling, but that's okay. Yeah, and that's about it. Hop up actually comes plastic stock. I tried putting a Pro and hop up in there, and it didn't work, so that's just a little bit of a warning. You don't want to try and put a Pro and hop up in there because it actually doesn't fit, because when you open it up, you know how that little part down in the bottom that function the slide, that has a little clip that goes right there. You would have to sand down the Pro in or sand down that to put the Pro and hop up in, and that's just not worth it, because a regular style hop up is a rotary style hop up, and there's no proof that the Pro is any better. But it is a very well built gun, stock or not stock. If you want to, you could probably keep it stock and get good results. You could probably get around 225 feet if you tune it in well. There is a rumor about Elite Force coming in at D14 down in Texas and getting 300-foot shots, no problem, with their gun. I don't think that's completely true, because when I got it out of the box, I tuned it very well, and I was using the same BBs, Elite Force .28s. They were using Elite Force .28s as well, and I can only get to about 225, maybe 250 by tuning it well. But I mean, it's definitely a good gun out of the box. Now with the Prometheus inner barrel 6.03 455 millimeter, the maple leaf bucking 70-degree, and the Modify concave flat hop, I can get around 275 and maybe even 300. So that's just how good of a gun out of the box it is. I mean, I didn't do very many upgrades at all. I flat hopped it, I put a new bucking, and I put a Peroni barrel in it. That's all I did, and it's working really well. So yeah, that's the G28 that we will be using today, or tomorrow, I believe. I'm not sure when we post the video. But the dunes.